The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Excess water in fields during planting can be challenging for getting the crop in the ground. In our Soil Health Minute, NDSU Soil Health Specialist Abby Wick shows how some farmers are using cover crops to help during planting.
We're down in southeastern North Dakota, looking at high clay fields and talking about water management. The two fields we're going to look at today, one has been no-till for 3 years and has a cereal rye cover crop on it, and the other field we're looking at would have been ripped in the fall, chisel plowed, and then field cultivated this spring. A couple days ago, they got about 2 inches of rain. What I want to look at today is the moisture content in the soils. I've brought my moisture meter with me today so we can look at how saturated the soils are at depth and how much these different management practices are drying the soils out. Here at about 2 inches down, we have about 15% moisture. If we go down to 4 inches, we're sitting at about 22% moisture, 23%. If we go down to about 6 inches, we're at 25%. So still 30% moisture at 10 inches, and let's go all the way down to 12 inches. And we're just at 35% moisture down at 12 inches in this soil, which means the rye plant is drying that soil out. You can see all of these roots are reaching down into the soil and removing water and transpiring it through the plant. So it's just one more way to get water out of the soil and get equipment on the field a little faster. So now we're in the neighboring field that has pretty typical management for the area. In this field, we're relying only on evaporation to remove water. We can see at about 2 inches, it's very dry. About 15% at 4 inches. At about 6 inches, we're at about 23%. And just under 6 inches, at probably 7 or 8 inches, we're saturated. You can see it reached 47% and then zeroed out. That means the soil is saturated. As we saw in these two fields, a cereal rye cover crop is an effective tool to managing moisture in the spring.